2016, with the movie coming out, it was the culmination of years of work for the first film. It wasn't me.
I thought it was a dream.
And to share that with my family and to be there with them and see our culture represented in a powerful, meaningful way and also entertaining and fun.
It was a special movie, and it was fun to work on. I remember seeing the film for the first time with my family, and
not just a theater. It wasn't like I was at an indie film festival. It was Disney Animation.
I
only heard that maybe 6-7 months ago, that it was the most watched on all of streaming, and I remember being so proud about that.
What's moving about Moana is this idea that it's okay to think beyond. It's okay to ask, what if there's more out there that I want to look for and explore and discover? And that, to me, is the powerful thing, I think, that transcends the movie, transcends the big screen. You never want to stop asking, well, what if and what else is out there? You never want to stop exploring.
I love that Moana still has that impact. I know that she definitely impacted me. The run of Moana really took me by surprise. I had nothing to compare it to. I grew up in Hawaii. Moana took me out of the country for the first time, and I never could have guessed how far this film would take me.
I was just really, really blessed because I got to travel a lot with Auli'i as we were going through this journey. And so I got to see this amazing young woman. She really blossomed into a force of nature.
Thanks, Pam.
She's not unlike the character that she voices that we all love.
This is a call from the ancestors to sail to new skies.
Both Dave Derrick and Jason Han were board artists on the original film, and I remember working with them as the production manager. Christina actually also worked on the first film, so it's kind of like our little family coming back together.
I just feel so lucky, but it's been incredible to also see these 3 directors who are first-time directors really hone and develop their vision, to see their deep, deep love of Moana and seeing them pouring their hearts and souls into like every single tiny frame.
It was unbelievable to be chosen to do this. And I was like, what just happened?
You're like, oh my God, I'm gonna work on Moana. And then usually terror sets in because you're like, oh my God, I gotta live up to Moana.
When we heard about the story expanding, we were excited and we were like, we're gonna need a bigger canoe.
This project got much bigger, and our Burbank and Vancouver artists all began to collaborate together.
I think everyone had their own sort of version of how do you follow in the footsteps of one of the best animated films out there? How do we build off of what's already been done?
I remember someone just told me, like, what else is there to tell? Haven't we told everything? And my immediate response was, the ocean's huge.
Yeah.
The cultures we are honoring and showing, and Moana herself is so young. There is so much more to tell with her.
There are new people to meet. There are new enemies to defeat. I have to give all the props to not only our writers, but also the Oceanic Trust for giving us such incredible material to work with, which really comes from Indigenous folklore and Indigenous knowledge.
We call our consultants the Oceanic Cultural Trust. We all work together to ensure the stories we're telling are representative and truly celebrate the communities and the cultures that inspired Moana 2.
It is so important to do this right. To their credit, Disney has said, let us know if we get anything wrong. Because all of this, as fun as it is, as imaginative as it is, some of these stories, like the story of Maui pulling up islands out of the sea, is not a Disney creation. That comes from our oral history.
Early on, at the very beginning, I wanted to see Maui pull an island from the sea. That has to happen, right?
And Maui pulls a freaking island out of the ocean.
He does.
And then I wanted a lot of mud skippers. I wanted so many.
Did you?
Did you?
Let me tell you
imagine
something.
that about you.
Dreams do come true.
They do.
Can I ask where the mud skippers came from?
It was going back to Samoa, just on the beach. These little guys would just wash up. You'd watch them like flop around and they'd go back in the ocean. I was like, these guys are amazing. These animals are so specific to the region of Moana. And we have this unique opportunity to incorporate them in our storytelling. I think we created characters that are even dumber than Hey Hey.
They're similar souls.
They are. Were there any non-negotiables for you?
It was really important to me to make sure that we were being true to who Moana was in the first film. Like, that's the trick of sequels, right? Like, somebody has gone through this amazing experience, and how do you make sure that they're growing from there and not relearning the same lesson?
She believes in herself. She never gives up on her journey to save her people. She's incredibly courageous. And I wanted to make sure that personality was staying true to who she is in this film.
I get really excited about pushing a character to their limits. And so it was important to me that we were able to really put Moana through something and not pull any punches. And I think it took us a while to really find what the right ingredients were for that.
Okay.
One of the first drawings I ever did in 2019 was Moana in front of a giant ancestral whale shark. What would happen if that ancestor came to you, and what were they asking you to do?
When Moana is given this call from the ancestors to once again go on a very far mission, that pull from her family and her younger sister create this inner turmoil that this film is really based on, the theme of growth. And how far can you go and how far will you push yourself?
This is something that we talked a lot about in the beginning. Who is Moana now, 3 years later? She's been out on the ocean for 3 years. She's been leading this village. That changes a person. And so we wanted to kind of figure out how we could express that on screen.
Dave, Jason, and Dana add such beautiful light and depth to Moana.
She is a strong leader, and her community looks up to her. I think there are some of those subtle nuance differences in terms of acting choices that we're using.
That's so much of what we do, is capturing like what the character is thinking, what they're feeling, not necessarily what they're saying. And so we do that through how they hold themselves. And if she were sort of a character who was more on their toes in the first film, eager, more excitable, and maybe a little bit naive, in Moana 2, she's more on her heels. She's a little bit more grounded.
And that's where it has to be, it has to be the right vowel.
I love Auli'i's performance in this film because she herself is also older, so there's hints of that throughout the film.
In the first film, Auli'i, she was so young and just getting into her career in acting, and now she's gained so much skill in the craft, and it comes through.
Guys, the entire ocean is kind of counting on us, so we gotta rise to this moment.
There is a camera on me always for the animators, so that when I make a really goofy face, they have something to animate that looks similar to that.
It's proof.
Her range is incredible. The way that she can go into this like incredibly heartfelt, dramatic moment and then just turn on the charm or turn on the humor.
It was in a clearing, which I found with a little help from Hey Hey, but this isn't from our village.
Like, that's the stuff we yearn for with voice recordings, and Auli'i is just like, she's a master at that stuff.
The other thing I love is just watching her facial performance, because if you look at her eyes and her brows, they get very animated in a sense. And I think that's a quality that we're bringing into Moana that I just love.
For me, I wouldn't work on this if this story didn't have both Maui and Moana in it. I felt like the magic of them two together is what makes the story so amazing.
Dwayne is larger than life, both on and off screen, whether he's playing a demigod or not, to be honest. And I'm so grateful to be with him on this journey again.
Maybe breaking the curses like you said. A 1-2 punch. I really love playing Maui. Much like Moana itself and the story of Moana, animated characters, they all come from a very deep personal, cultural place. There are many traits about my grandfather that you see in Maui. My grandfather was always singing, and he was a very big man. Just a super chiseled demigod passing through. He lived in the spirit of Mana. Tougher than a $2 steak, too.
When we got to record Dwayne, you commented how Jason and I, as soon as he came up to greet us and shake our hands, we were...
Hello, sir.
Did you guys just do push-ups in the hallway? Is that what happened?
He has muscles in places I've never seen before. But he was so much fun to work with. I mean, what an amazing, charismatic guy who brings so much warmth and just such presence to the character of Maui. Just amazing comedy.
Okay, no, oh, hey.
He comes in, he's very confident. He definitely has an energy to that voice, which is really fun for us to bring.
What? I was being nice. Ow, ow. No purple apples. Stop. Ow, ow. I don't like who you are around her, okay? Okay. Ow. No, I'll talk to her. Ow.
So much of Maui is Dwayne, and Dwayne is Maui. You watch him in the booth, and his charm and his wit are just like razor sharp.
I love that we can be very expressive with him because of the way he reads his lines. We use a lot of asymmetry. We're always looking at the rock eyebrow.
For animators, the stuff where you get to sort of invent the comedy and how he's behaving is sort of kind of the funnest part of it, because you're sort of inventing it from the little spots of comedy just by the way he gestures or reacts to something. There's a very quick head move, but then the jaw opens slow. I'm wondering if we could just marry those two things a little bit.
He was very moved with like the development of his character Maui and how vulnerable he got. I mean, you worked very closely with him on that.
You know, we talked about to be a demigod and not want to need anyone or need anything, but then to have a friendship with Moana that becomes your one vulnerability. What happens when you lose that or that's put at risk?
Yeah.
Please.
What does it mean for someone who is so strong to ask for help?
As larger than life as he is also deeply sentimental. And I always like to say that the most powerful thing we could be in life is ourselves. And that's what Maui, I think, has inspired in not only me, but in talking to fans all around the world.
See you out there, Maui.
See you out there, Moana.
For me, the other one was the beauty in the first film is so incredible. And I know you all are sick of me hearing me talk about this, but
I mean, like once or twice you might have mentioned that you really like this.
I remember the beauty of nature portrayed in that first movie. It was awe-inspiring for me, especially from a lighting standpoint. I was just blown away.
For me, it was a technical marvel, first and foremost. Just, we were talking about the water, the look of it was amazing.
Coming back, you know, so many years later, the technology has advanced, and we have many of our leaders who were on the first film back for this film. And so all the artists have come together, and if it's possible, made it even more beautiful than the first film. It is possible because that's what we did.
I remember my first discussion very well, and Dave very much talked about his heritage and, no, this needs to be true to this emotion and this culture.
We had Laiana Kanoa Wong. He came here and he did a presentation on wayfinding, which is great because it sort of, you know, it puts ideas in your mind that you wouldn't otherwise think, like what time of day to put for a specific shot. Based on the information we had got from the wayfinding presentation, we were like, oh, the birds go towards the island in the evening.
Moana 2, such an epic journey that we really wanted to make it feel big. So with the way we handled the atmospherics, the way we're handling the water, even just how big the waves are, can make something look epic.
Whenever we finish a film, I feel like it's a tiny little miracle that all came together.
This is not an easy film to do. The pressure of it is so high. And I'm just proud that everyone really approached it with humility and grace.
I am so grateful that we get to continue Moana's story and then to let everyone know that in life, you're always evolving and growing. I love the line that we have, you know, in the script from Grandma Tala, that we never stop discovering who we are.
For most of my life, I grew up sort of outside Samoan culture. As an adult, it was very important to me to figure out what it meant to be a Samoan woman. And I've really never felt enough, ever.
Yeah.
And this movie has really helped me take ownership of what it means to just be exactly who I am. And because of that, I'm so excited for my children, for my niece, for my cousins. We're just this little family from Savaii and from Pago Pago, and making a giant Disney movie was never meant to be a part of our story.
Yeah.
To be able to give this to them, to say, truly, anything is possible. I hope that that is their takeaway from all of this.
I've always wanted to work at Disney Animation and to work on a film that we have all created together with our incredible crew. It's super emotional. It's a dream come true for me, genuinely. I hope when people go see this that they love the film as much as we loved making it.
You might want to hold on.